Greetings everyone, my name is Mashuk Rabbani and this is audiobook on Survive from page 126. How to survive a zombie invasion. A zombie attack is probably the hardest challenge you will face. Zombies, or the undead as they prefer to be known, are notoriously difficult to kill because they are not actually alive. As soon as you hear reports of zombies in your area, follow this plan of action. Game plan. Gather as many survivors of the invasion as you can. There's safety in numbers. Find yourselves a secure building to use as a base. Ideally, it should be on high ground. This will offer an excellent vantage point from which you can spot zombie hordes approaching, and the undead can't climb because their knees don't bend. Stock plenty of food and water. You may be surrounded by the undead for days. Make sure the building has only two entrances. You need a second exit to escape through if zombies break through the front entrance. Build a barricade at each entrance and seal any other doors and windows with heavy furniture. If someone has been infected, you must get them out of the safe house quickly. The good news is, once they are a full-blown zombie, they won't feel pain and they'll never be forced to do anything they don't want to again, such as be nice to their granny. The bad news is they'll stink and their flesh will fall off. How to spot a zombie? The living dead are easy to spot because, as their name suggests, they are dead people whose bodies have come alive again. Look out for staring eyes, green skin, and a pungent smell of rotting and decay. Check for a distinctive way of walking slowly, stumbling with arms held straight out in front and a limp caused by their stiff knees. If survivors come to your base asking for shelter, beware. They may have been infected. This happens if they are bitten or scratched by a zombie. There is no cure. They'll become zombies too. Check all newcomers for any wounds. Battling with the undead. After a while, you may get bored of waiting it out in barricaded base. Television broadcasts will eventually stop and there will be nothing but the sound of static on the radio. You may decide to venture outside, but be careful. Very careful. Whenever you leave the shelter to gather fresh supplies or check for more survivors, carry a bat or sword to defend yourself. Guns are useless against zombies. If you find yourself caught in a crowd with the undead, your best chance of surviving is to act like a zombie. Moan and keep your eyes as wide open as possible. Limp and dribble. Zombies are pretty stupid, and with any luck, they won't notice you among them. Stay as fit and healthy as you can. Zombies are typically slow moving, but you never know when you'll need to outrun a speedy one. If you're desperate, you can knock a zombie's head off and stop it in its tracks. How to get home using nature's clues. It's always a great idea to have a compass on you when out adventuring. But if your compass breaks or gets lost, you'll need to know how to use nature's clues to navigate your way back home. North know-how. The easiest way of working out where you are is to use the sun in the sky. If you are in the northern hemisphere and half of the globe that is above the line of the equator, at 12 noon the sun is due south, and if you are in the southern hemisphere, the half of the globe below the line of the equator, it is due north. Whichever hemisphere you are lost in, follow these instructions to find north using only a wristwatch. To find north in the southern hemisphere, point 12 o'clock on the watch at the sun. Now find the middle point between 12 o'clock and the hour hand. This is north. In the northern hemisphere, you'll need to find south first. To do this, point the hour hand at the sun. Find the middle point between the hour hand and 12 o'clock. This is south, so the opposite direction is north. Sunshine clues. If you don't have a watch, don't worry. You can still work out which way is north by looking around you. Follow these clues to find north and south in the northern hemisphere. The opposite of each clue is true if you are lost in the southern hemisphere. Trees can be a useful guide. The side of the tree that faces south will have greater growth as it will be getting more sunlight. There will be more branches growing horizontally on the southern side and more branches growing vertically on the northern side. The flowers of plants tend to face the sun. South, if you are crossing over a hill, the north side will be damper with dew because it gets less sun. Keep an eye out for a very tall hill or mountain in the distance. If it has snow on the top, the snow will be thicker and more noticeable on the north side. Research has shown that here herds of cows tend to stand with their bodies along a north-south line when they are resting or grazing on grass. The direction that their heads are facing is north. Pole position. Whichever side of the equator you are on, you can use this navigation technique to find north. All you need is a stick and a pebble. 1. Put a long stick in the ground so that it stands upright. The stick will cast a shadow. Put a small pebble, A, at the tip of the shadow. Wait for roughly 20 minutes until another shadow is cast. 3. Place another pebble B at the end of the shadow, that is how being made by the stick. 4. Next, make a mark midway between pebble A, which is in the west, and pebble B in the east. 5. The line which runs from the base of your upright stick to the midpoint you have marked is called the north-south line. The direction of this line as it points away from your upright stick shows you which way is north. If you are lost at night time, you can navigate using the North Star. For instructions on how to do this, turn to page 61. Done.